with poison and asking them that they must take the poison responsibly. We know that people who take alcohol, it leads to the destroying and the destruction of their liver. The statistics of Soweto are unbelievable. The economically active people bring an income of 386 million rands a month. And out of that 386 million rands, 119 million rands is used on liquor. Let us go on. Out of a home, a family of 8 people, you can be rest assured that 3 dabble with alcohol. In our high schools, up to 4 out of 10 of our students already dabble with alcohol. Alcohol that is going to bring about unbelievable socio-economic problems to the community. And we keep on saying that people must drink responsibly. There is no responsible drinking. There is just drinking that finally leads to self-destruction and unbelievable costs to the community and the government.
And as you know, a social drinker, it's been mentioned here that the price of liquor keeps going high, but people still keep buying liquor. Why do you personally keep buying liquor even when the prices are crazy?
I mean, even if they can increase the price of cigarettes and liquor, I mean, mostly if you drink it socially like we do, it's not like we go out of our way to maybe on a Monday or on a Friday or whatever. I mean, socially, like maybe there's a social event or maybe there's a party somewhere, and then it becomes the heart of the party. So it all boils down to what he said earlier, that if you are responsible with the usage of the alcohol itself, I mean, there would not be a problem. So I don't see a problem myself.
But the pastor says it's poison. I mean, it's, you know, destructive to your health.
Well, I mean, everyone is entitled to their opinion. And at the same time, everyone has a right to exercise their fundamental principle in life, which is choice. You choose to see it as poison. I choose to see it as something that's going to actually be part of the party or wherever that I'm at. If he sees it maybe as a poison, well, hey, maybe he's taking too much, or whoever, that's poison, or you understand? But my view...
About, you know, the damages that it causes, the road accidents and so on, and Umawetu is a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Are you not concerned about the destructiveness of alcohol?
Well, I am concerned about it, but I mean, as he said, it's all up to the individual himself. I mean, you know your own self would know, maybe if I consume this much, this is my limit. That's responsible drinking, understand? It's like example, I don't know, maybe I can make a practical example. It doesn't mean because of one is not a responsible drinker. I mean, those people who are causing accidents and drunken and driving accidents, it's due to the fact that they consumed a lot, or they consumed beyond what they can take. So as long as you're responsible with the substance itself, I don't see any problem with it.
But what about the victims that suffer, Andile? What about, you know, the woman that is beaten up by an angry man because he's had something to drink, or the accidents that are caused on the road? Mawetu has lost 2 loved ones because of alcohol. What about that? Why should we turn a blind eye to that?
No one is turning a blind eye about that. I mean, it's said that such circumstances arise from abusing the substance itself, but it will all boil down to the way the person uses it. I mean, he's a social drinker for himself, and other members in the studio are probably social drinkers. But you don't see anyone with the case of hitting someone or anything like that. So it boils down to responsible drinking. If you do it according to the way you know your capacity, I don't see any problem with it.
Let's find out from the Islamic perspective. What is your view? Or what does the Quran say about alcohol as a consumption, rather?
Muslims do... Okay, I think there is definitely, we should acknowledge there is some benefit in alcohol, maybe for medicine purposes or whatever. But social drinking, I mean, Islamic law is there to promote, you know, protection of the mind, protection of life, protection of wealth. And if you look at alcohol, I mean, after consuming alcohol a certain amount, and each person, maybe at a different level, becomes intoxicated. But once intoxicated, you have no control over your actions. I mean, basically, you know, you're like out of your mind. So the repercussions of that can be enormous. I mean, you said, you know, accidents related to drinking and driving, or husbands who become abusive once drinking. So the thing is, alcohol itself has the ability, and that's why I differ with one of the previous speakers, that I don't see how alcoholism is a disease. Alcohol itself, I mean, each person has the potential of being alcoholic after consuming alcohol.
I just want to go back a bit to Shamim. Shamim, he said something important, that once you've had a little alcohol, then you have no inhibition and you will want to carry on and have more drinks. So how then can one drink responsibly?
I think that point is that the little, you can drink so much before you reach that point of intoxication. So we're saying teach them how to drink responsibly from early on. And yes, it can be enjoyed. So I agree that intoxication can lead to all the consequences you're talking about. But we just mentioned that prohibition showed that it didn't work. So we're saying, if it didn't work, why do we want to now bring that again and all the consequences of, we're not only talking about the Kennedys getting wealthy, but there are other adverse, even I believe the law enforcement was involved in selling liquor then. So we're going to have more problems, but this one we can control. I believe we can control.
Sadhu, can people be taught to drink responsibly?
According to our ancient Hindu Shastras, man is a man as long as he is using his rational and intuitive faculties. According to the Siddha Shastra, there are 22,000 subtle nerves in our physical system, and if they are destroyed, man is next door neighbor to a brute. So drinking alcohol, it destroys those nervous systems and the faculties of reason and higher intuitive thinking. And therefore, there cannot be a responsible drinking. There cannot be a responsible suicide. It is more or less a man committing a suicide by destroying his rational faculty. So how can we say that a person can responsibly drink? It is as if saying that a man can responsibly commit suicide. So it is not possible, according to our Hindu Shastras.
Dr. Makan, I'd like you to respond to that. Isn't there some truth to that?
No, I don't agree with that. That will make Jesus, if you were to criminalize alcohol, that will make Jesus a criminal, and it will make him extremely irresponsible. And I don't think that we should go there, because alcohol has been around for thousands of years. Millions and millions of people have consumed it responsibly. There have been perfectly fine figures in society, as wise as the sadhu, and I certainly will not agree with any statement of that extent that anybody who consumes any amount of alcohol is going to have his nervous system destroyed. There is no evidence for that.
Let's just get a response from the pastor here. Your comment that
the comment.
If alcohol would be criminalized, then Jesus was a criminal. Pastor?
No. Jesus was never involved in anything that is alcoholic. Absolutely not at all. The so-called wine that Jesus Christ used, it was an unfermented wine. It was not fermented wine. We have to make that difference completely. Jesus Christ did not give his disciples alcohol. It was unfermented wine.
Nhlanhla, I'd like to find out from you, why do you drink? Why do you find a need to spend so much money every weekend, possibly, to consume this potion, if I may call it, or poison rather, as Pastor Tebezahadi called it?
Basically, I would say it's just social reasons, you see.
Yeah. Well, how? It helps you socialize better.
Yeah, you socialize better. You see, there's this thing like they were saying, as long as you don't drink irresponsibly, like you don't consume too much, you see.
Do you drink responsibly? Yeah,
at first I was drinking irresponsibly, but I can tell you I've improved a lot.
Oh, you've improved a lot. Tell us about, the time before you had improved. What kind of problems did you experience drinking alcohol?
You find that, especially before the laws were introduced, you see, saying you're not allowed to drink on the streets and all that, all those things. You used to tell yourself in petty style, you see, you drink a stratin and then you walk, and then you don't see anything wrong, especially when you grow up. But as you grow up, you have kids and all that. You start changing. You can see that 1, 2, 3 is wrong. Being seen drunk every day by, every day during the day. It's irresponsible. That's what makes people keep changing because of it. You see.
Team A, social drinkers say, it's unfair that they should pay, for the sins of drinkers who abuse alcohol. Shouldn't people be allowed to drink if they can drink responsibly? Why should it be criminalized?
Well, we should understand one fact, that one drink can double your chances of being in an accident. And secondly, we have cases of domestic violence. We have little kids who are being abused by their fathers because they are drinking. Do they deserve that? That is not fair. Therefore, this alcohol should be criminalized. We are not saying that because I can hear from the audience that they want to bring a cure to the problem. We are saying let us prevent it and stop it for the next generation so that it will not actually come and affect them, because we have also cases where we have disease like fetal alcohol syndrome, where a little infant is being affected while having get a chance of experiencing the world. Is that fair? We should criminalize it.
Mm-hmm. Tim B., your response to that?
I think you just have to understand that we're not saying alcohol is good. We're saying that if you consume alcohol, you have to consume it responsible. Because if you go to social and cultural, back to social and cultural, as in an African context, you'll find that if you've got ceremonies like weddings and the celebration of a boy coming from a school, there's going to be some kind of drinks there, and in some white culture, you'll find that if they're having a special dinner, there's going to be wine. In an Italian culture, there's going to be a bottle of whiskey. Those people are drinking responsible. Before they drink, they've got something inside. They eat first. Some people who are drinking responsible, they just go and drink without having something first. That's what
Do you know why something alcoholic? Why can't you celebrate with a glass of juice or Coke or whatever? Coke, the drink, that is.
I believe that it's coming down from generation to generation. As you find that, as the doctor said before, that before alcohol was criminalized, but we find that as the alcohol was criminalized, it was used for workers. It was used to attract workers to go and work in certain places, like in Cape Town. We find they even gave it a name as Tote for people who are working in the farms. Tote, I don't know what does that mean. And we find that in mines, we find that those people were given alcohol to stay there so that they can go and work, which means those people invented alcohol. They knew what to do, but they criminalized it to the public so that those people can't stay where their families are. So,
I just like to go to my link, and then we'll come back and carry on with the discussion. Well, have your say on the topic simply by calling the chat room hotline or SMSing the word chat, followed by your comment to 34110. We'll air some of the telephonic viewer comments next week right here on the chat room. Our discussion carries on after this break. Don't go away. So then, no, it's just that, I mean, alcohol and a thingy. I just didn't understand the question. Like, why? Why I would ask that?
So many numbers. 9, 8, 7, 6.
Welcome back. Should... Welcome back. Should...
Let's do it, but again.
Welcome back. Should liquor be criminalized? That is the question we're asking today. What do you think? Let us know. Sorry? Welcome back. Should liquor be criminalized?
Paul. But Paul. Oh, cut, sorry. I'm sorry, it's technical, it's not us. We kept it fine. Don't blame yourself. 3.
Welcome back. Should liquor be criminalized? That is the question we're asking today. Sadhu, I would like to speak a little bit about imperialism. You know, historically, foreigners used alcohol as a manipulating tool where they would, you know, come into a country and then give the natives some alcohol, you know, to dull their minds and so on. And thereafter, they would, you know, when the natives are not fully conscious or their minds are dull, then they would, you know, take control or take possession of their land. Can you, you know, tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, alcohol has been used to weaken mankind. You know, human life is for a higher purpose, to rise ourselves above the level of animals, to come to the human stage and from there to rise up to the divine stage. When you give alcohol to a human being and destroy his faculty of reasoning, destroy his moral and ethical values. A man who is drunk, he loses his moral and ethical values. We have seen many cases of rape, murder, etc. are committed by a man when he is in a drunken state. So it reduces man to the realm of an animal. When somebody, the imperialists, they wanted to keep the natives under complete control, they wanted to treat them as animals, and the best way was to make them familiar with the liquor, make them drunk, and they lose all their faculties, all their intellectual and intuitive faculties, and they just live like animals. It was easy for the imperialists to control the natives. Even in India, we faced such a thing, and therefore we say that this